talk about a complete nightmare. Let's talk about Eddington and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay, let's start with Eddington first because I walked out of that movie only an hour in. I was not able to finish that movie due to it being way too real and way too traumatic. I rarely walk out of a movie because of a trigger warning. I'll walk out of a movie if it's bad, but this movie was way too real. The acting was well done. I'll give him that. The acting was well done. The set design, everything gave me 2020 COVID. So if you don't know the plot of Eddington, Eddington is about a sheriff versus a mayor in the town called Eddington. The sheriff is very much anti-vax. He wants everything to be normal. He doesn't care about COVID. He is a police officer, all those things that comes with those stereotypes. And then the mayor is on the other extreme where he's like super pro-COVID, not pro-COVID, like pro-masks. Oh my gosh, scared about COVID, hypochondriac, spewing all the facts, things like that. And so this movie did really well about showing the two extremes that happened in 2020. And I was so triggered by it. I had to leave an hour in because I realized that I haven't really processed the trauma of 2020. And I didn't even experience the worst of it. I wasn't a first responder, a COVID nurse, COVID doctor. You know, I don't think I got COVID. I might have. There's been times I was like really sick, but I every time I tested, I didn't have COVID, but you know, and like I could have experienced, there was worse experience from COVID. So just me being like, ooh, I can't do this. I would not recommend this to someone that has had something bad happen. Oh my gosh. That's something bad has happened to them during COVID. I just wouldn't recommend this movie too early. I think that this movie was way too soon. I left an hour in when they started talking about George Floyd because that brought things back too. And I was like, oh yeah, I am not going to endure this. Like I'm here. When I come to the movies, it's for escapism. It's not to process this right now. So I was like, okay, I need to like really think about what I need to do right now. And I left. But if you're like, yeah, I'm ready to, you know, recount the days of 2020 to 2022, then this is the movie for you. I can't give it a rating because I didn't finish it, but I think I need to watch it on my own because I could tell the people that were the anti-vaxxers during COVID versus the people that weren't, because some people in the theater were laughing at points that were not funny. Not like dry humor, things that were just like it was not funny. I could tell you that you didn't wear a mask during 2020. I'm not going to get into this again. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not getting into these arguments again when it comes to COVID. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. So that's why I was like, oh, I got to go. If I do watch this movie again, I'll give a full, better review. And I'll be watching at home so I can like not hear other people. But trigger warning for Eddington. Now getting to I Know What You Did Last Summer. So I'm trying to be better about not watching movies that are just, you know, action, because I know I'm going to have a good time watching an action movie. Like, that's not even a question. I'm going to have a good time. And so I went to go see I Know What You Did Last Summer. And usually I have a hard time watching horror movies because I get scared very easily, okay, guys? I'm not even gonna lie. I get scared very easily. So if you don't know, which I didn't know, I Know What You Did Last Summer is like a reboot of the series. A reboot, a sequel. You know, I didn't even know there was an original series. There's multiple movies that came out in the 90s that I never heard of. I think there's also a TV show. Never heard of them. So I thought this was the first one. I was like, oh, okay, cool, like a new vibe. But then like I saw these like older actors come in and I heard people in the audience like reacting. So I had to like pull out my phone a little bit on the side and I had to look it up. And I was like, oh, this is a reboot. So that's why everyone was excited when she was like, oh, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Sorry. Okay, anyways, when she said, what are you waiting for? Everyone was like, oh my gosh, she said the thing. And I was like, oh, she said the thing. So, but anyways, I Know What You Did Last Summer. If you don't know what it is, it's a story about 5 teens that cause an accident to someone and then they kind of brush it off. They try to hide it. And then 365 days later, a year later, same month, July, one of the characters gets a note that says, I know what you did last summer. And then all of them start dying off one-on-one. So let's talk about let's talk about this movie. So, no, I didn't do anything last summer. He did something last summer. Spoilers for this movie. I didn't do anything. He did it. And I was a witness, sure. And I wanted to go to the police, but you know that he did it. So let me tell you what happened. So what happened last summer is one of the guys wanted to be a fool, thinking that he's so cool, standing in the middle of the street. He almost gets hit by a car, but the car swerves and goes off a cliff, right? The other four are trying to hold this car down, being like, no, no, don't go off the cliff. The guy that's in the middle of the street trying to break the window doesn't break, the car goes over the cliff. Okay. I wasn't the one standing in the middle of the street. I tried to save his life. And I wanted to go to the police. All the girls wanted to go to the police to give their statement or stay with the guy or try to save them. And the guys were like, no, like, my dad will take care of it, rich people. My dad will take care of it, it's fine. And they were like, no, like, this is not okay. Like, we got to go say something. And first of all, it was an accident. I don't think anything would have panned out. They're white. Who said that? I feel like if they went to the police being like, oh, he swerved off the cliff, they would have been like, oh, it was clearly an accident, whatever. So one of the girls, I don't know their names, guys. Girl one ends up being the one that kills everybody. And the thing is, she was there. You were there. You were a witness. I did not kill your man that was in the car. I don't know, guys. It was some guy in the car that she liked, and that's why she ended up killing everybody the next summer. But it was like, I would have been like, girl, sit down for a second. Were we not all there? It was not me. I understand you killing the guy in the middle of the street. I understand that because we told him to get out of the middle of the street. So that's on him, sure. But you know that I had nothing to do with this. You're weird. And you're going to kill me? That's crazy. And then I die? But anyways, that's my little rant. Speaking on the movie itself, I had a good time. As a person that doesn't watch horror movies, I had a good time. I can't really judge this movie harshly because I genuinely had a good time, and I would watch it again actually. And I'm not a person that watches horror movies multiple times or at all. And I would watch this again because this was the best depiction of Gen Z. Actually, I was very surprised that this was the best depiction of Gen Z that I've seen. It wasn't too cringy, and it wasn't like, oh, we're just Gen Z. We're just on our phones all the time and we don't know what's going on. No, all the Gen Zers were so unserious. Every time someone died, they were like, oh my gosh, bro, somebody died again. Yeah. Like, I thought it was just so fun. Like, not like that, but it was something similar to that where they were like, there was people dying around them, but they were so unserious because that's how it is to be Gen Z. We are the generation of change. Our life is always changing around us. Like, and we're always going through some type of trauma. Like, speaking of COVID, or something bad is just always happening on the news. And the only way we can cope with it is by making a joke. And like, it's not like we're not taking it seriously. It's like, that's just how we cope, is by making jokes. So I think that's what they did well with this movie, is by the Gen Zers were making jokes about the trauma that was actively happening to them. And I think that a lot of script writers miss that from Gen Z. They think that we're like Gen Alpha, which is a whole different thing. But yeah, I thought that was well done. They brought back the old actresses, and I like the twist in it. I guess I won't spoil the twist. I like the twist ending. I'll spoil it. There was two killers, and one of the killers was one of the guys from the original movie that was a survivor. He ended up being one of the killers. I thought that was wild. Even being someone that's never knew the series, I thought that was awesome. I like that. The kills in it were great. I don't know if I'm glazing this movie. I don't care. The kills in it were great because I was sitting there on the edge of my seat being like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I would get out of this situation. I was genuinely like, when they were actively about to get killed, I was like, oh my gosh, I would have got killed. I would have got killed because I don't know how to get out of this situation. I would not know what to do at all. So I like that. The kills were realistic. Some of them, the only reason why I would be able to get out of them is that I wouldn't be in that situation to start with. Like, I wouldn't separate from the group. That's like that's one of them. Or no, the one in the where were they? They were in some mannequin store or something like that. They were in a store where there's like mannequins, which was like, of course, I call back to the first movie. And I was like, no, they were literally just investigating. Like, I would have, if I was like trying to find answers, I would be there too. Or I would try to go out this door, but all the doors are locked. Oh yeah, I would die. Like, I would get got. Like, there was some other kills in there too that I was like, man, they would have got me. So I like that too, that they try to make it as realistic as possible for the viewer that's always like, oh, don't go down that alley or whatever, you know? So what do I give this movie? I would give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It's not like amazing. It's not, you're not going to get something out of it. It's obviously a reboot. So so that already brings the movie down a little bit with it not being an original story. So that's kind of like, eh. So I give it a 6.5. I would, if you love I Know You Did Last Summer, then you would love this movie. Yeah, for sure. If you're like a horror fan, slasher fan, it's a movie that exists. I would probably rewatch it because I just love the characters in it. I don't even care about the story. I just love I love, yeah, what am I trying to say? I love the characters themselves, the people that the character writing in this. That was my favorite part. But anyways, if you've seen I Know What You Did Last Summer, comment down below what you thought of it. If you've seen Eddington, comment down below what you thought about it. And comment what movies you want me to see next. Fantastic Four? Ball, ball, ball. And also make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.